Hello everybody, welcome back to Drummer Every Day. And I'm excited about a couple of things today. First of all, my last drum session was day 203 of Learning by Jamming. And on that I put 4 or 5 shorts on YouTube. I finally got the long video, 33 minutes or so, to upload, which is not that super long of a video. I've posted videos of an hour or more. But for some reason that one did not want to upload. So that finally uploaded about 3 seconds ago after a couple of days of trying to get that to upload from my phone. Excited about that. But with those shorts, each one has over 1,000 views, which I know is not a lot in the world of YouTube, but that's kind of cool because usually I get like 33 on one and maybe 120 on another and 450 on another. Maybe over 1,000 on one of the videos that I post from a session. I generally post between 3 and 10, just depending on how much content I got out of that session. But so that's really cool, that's fun. I got 3 new subscribers. I'm at like 681 right now, so that's cool. Thank you for subscribing if you've chosen to do that. All that's really cool. Also, I have these new drums. Someone asked me on one of my shorts, why do you have the tom up here? It's because that's where I was able to put it. A really simple answer, but this is just a random stand. It's not a drum stand, it's just like a little corner stand. Let's open up the window today because it's so nice out. So I'm just experimenting with these 3 new drums, 2 toms, 1 bass drum, which I have sitting down here on the floor, also acting as a stand for this one. And so that's just really fun to have the extra drums to play around with. It's fun to have come back from a couple of weeks off of drumming and just kind of be able to jump back in, have that last session go pretty good. Then I had a couple more days in which I did not play. And I'm just gonna go ahead, put on some music. I think keep playing that playlist that Apple came up with the other day. It was called like something about being eclectic. So it's a very eclectic mix of music, which is nice. It's called Wax Eclectic. This content is not authorized. Don't know why it's saying that. But I like that. It says, yeah, rock is a verb, the sound of turning up and cutting loose, but it can also be something subtler, more reflective, a conduit for ideas from new work by living legends to up and coming indie bands. Here's a mix for listeners who like to go a little deeper, a place where lyrics can scan like poetry and the sound doesn't always hit right on the nose. Our editors update these selections regularly. If you like a track, add it to your library. Okay, cool. So just a little more variety here. Still want it to rock. I still want it overall, fun vibe, but I wanted to get some stuff I don't always hear because that's one of the challenges, when you're get a little bit later in life and you're starting to kind of be fixed in what you like, know what you like, and Apple Music also knows what you like. And you're like, but I still want to discover new music. So this is really cool. Right before I start this, I'll just say again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching as much of it as you watch. Thank you for liking and subscribing if you've done those things, but you don't have to. I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you to like and subscribe. You do that if you want. That's totally up to you. Let's shuffle these songs. And this is how I'm learning drums. It's totally an experiment, but it's getting results. I'm happy with the results. They're not the same results I'd have learning drums in a different way, but that's totally cool. This is something I'm doing for fun, and it's been a lot of fun. So let's play some music. Shuffle. Oh, the other thing I'm excited about is these headphones, because it got to the point where I just kind of dreaded scrunching up these little soft, foam style earbuds, pushing them in my ears. It's really uncomfortable. Made me kind of not want to play the drums. These. Let's go. This song sounds fun. Trying to get it to play again. Enter the password. We don't need a password.
They say that you can see that it's wanting to be free. Deep inside my new treasure spirit guide. They say that you can find if you start to take time when it's right.
into the fading light. My eyes dilate and hollow. You said out loud and falling night, so still against the shadows. The constellations rising and spinning. The planets on their courses. Around on the threshold now, the melancholy seasons are gone. Within yourself, a place forbidden to me. I'm jealous of the air you breathe, the claws down your body. Eucalyptus creaks inside, the wind whips round the corner. Is armored high, the melancholy seasons are gone. Not over now, but later on, having one long day to between the opening of our eyes and the last time that we closed the turbo track of time to match our face.
Slow songs are hardest to play on drums. You can't just kind of rely on being flashy, or at least I can't, because it's just, you get messy and it doesn't work. As someone who's like learning drums on his own with a very, what do you call it, nonconformist approach, I rely on the ability to be pretty messy sometimes, and it works occasionally in louder, faster songs, but this is really good. That's why I'm just trying not to skip anything, and even if it feels like it's not really my vibe, not really my thing, maybe something that's a little harder for me, doesn't have the same energy I'm looking for or have been relying on, I'm trying to play through it anyway. So that's cool. Let's keep going. Next up, that was Melancholy Season by Benmont Tench. This is Swoon by Peter Murphy. it not being quite the energy that I'm looking for to play with. I just don't like it. I'm moving on. Overlander by the Budos Band. Okay, that sounds a little bit like some old school Black Sabbath. I mean the song itself, not my favorite.
Thank you.
Galilea by Tobacco City. Interesting. Next up, Fade Into You by Mozzie Star.
I wanna hold your hand inside you.
liked it. And we're gonna do one more. If I don't like the song a lot, I'm gonna skip it because there's just one more, so we gotta make it count. DOA from Death of a Unicorn by St. Vincent. I'm skeptical, but let's see it. Skip it. Probably could have made it work if it had been earlier in the set, but I'm not sure about it. The Night Before by the Black Keys, a band I typically do like. Too soon. Super fun. Hard to keep up with. Good times. Thanks for watching. And have a great night, evening, whatever it is for you.